A wildlife paradise. Nearly 40 years after the Chernobyl nuclear disaster, the area surrounding the former Chernobyl nuclear power plant is now teeming with wildlife, offering a unique site for scientists to study. Almost 40 years ago, on April 26, 1986, an explosion at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine marked a tragic event in human history. Toxic clouds spread, exposing approximately 8.4 million people to nuclear radiation, resulting in over 250,000 cancer cases and around 100,000 deaths. The Soviet Union established the 2,700 square kilometer Chernobyl Exclusion Zone around the plant, erecting a fence with a 30-kilometer radius and barring public access due to contamination. Besides the ongoing human toll, the Chernobyl disaster devastated the landscape, severely impacting local wildlife and infrastructure. In 2016, the United Nations designated April 26th as the International Chernobyl Disaster Remembrance Day to continue supporting affected communities, honoring human resilience, and reflecting on lessons learned for a sustainable future. Radiation ecologists view evacuated areas like Chernobyl as rare opportunities to study what happens to landscapes when people leave. Radiation spreads around us at very low levels. By studying exposure effects and using these landscapes as models, we can better understand broader impacts beyond Eastern Europe and Japan, where the Fukushima nuclear disaster occurred in 2011. Jim Beasley, a researcher at the University of Georgia, told Interesting Engineering on April 26th. While Chernobyl endured immense human losses, ecologists were amazed to find that wildlife has reclaimed the area. With humans absent, plants now flourish, overtaking structures, and animals have returned, establishing habitats in abandoned homes, offices, and schools. Many areas in Chernobyl today resemble a wildlife reserve, a previously unthinkable transformation. Decades have passed since the disaster. Radiation levels have decreased due to decay, and we're witnessing a resurgence of diverse wildlife communities within the exclusion zone, Beasley explained. While animal populations appear healthy, researchers remain uncertain about the precise impact of radiation on wildlife, even at lower levels, and are eager to gather more data. The research team at the University of Georgia developed collar devices for animals to study radiation exposure in areas unsafe for humans to enter. This approach also avoids disturbing wildlife, especially those already exposed to radiation. In 2012, Beasley and an international team of researchers visited Chernobyl to fit wolves with tracking collars. The collars quickly gather data and transmit it to computers via satellite. At the time, Beasley and others expected wildlife populations to be lower in more contaminated areas. However, after collaring wolves and launching additional studies to estimate populations, they found the opposite. Populations of large mammals increased after human departure, dispersing widely across the exclusion zone, even in highly contaminated areas near the plant. Species like the Eurasian lynx and brown bear have naturally moved into the area, Beasley noted. Surprisingly, Chernobyl has even become a safe refuge for reintroducing threatened species, such as European bison and Przewalski's horses. Nothing can diminish the human tragedy caused by the Chernobyl disaster. Yet, the apparent resilience and thriving wildlife after nearly 40 years paint a hopeful picture. Scientists can continue using this location to develop new tools and conduct meaningful radiation studies.